Hey everyone, Eddie Campos here with Eddie's home team of Remax Preferred Associates, and this is Coffee with Eddie. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you hear and see today, do me a favor, click the share button and share that with your friends. And today I'm talking to Tony Brancatto with Ruoff Mortgage. Tony has been in the business, Tony, 35, 40 years in real
Now, be
estate?
nice. I've been in for more than a couple decades. Yes.
So Tony is fantastic, and he won't mind me saying this. He is a total geek when it comes to mortgage and financing. So, I don't know that we can ever not do this video more than enough, but I wanted to kind of give you guys a heads up of what the process is like to get pre-approved and what the financing fees are. So last month we spoke with David Walcup with the finance design group, and David talked about what the fees are, and he really wanted to just get the message out there for anybody who's looking for their first home, especially be prepared. These are fees that you're going to see coming down the pike when you start to buy a home. And I thought today, in talking to Tony, we'd be able to get a little bit more into the weeds and talk about what exactly those fees could be. So, Tony, first things first, every buyer needs to have a pre-approval letter if they're going to finance their home. When it comes to that process, today it's relatively simple, correct? You need some documentation to be able to speak with you. They need to have a conversation with you. What exactly is that process like, and what do they need?
So the process, I mean, my job is to try to make it as simple and pain-free as possible, but generally we don't even have documents to start with. It'll start with a conversation, and when the conversation can be had over the phone, face-to-face, or online, whatever they prefer. And the online can be something like this, where we get together through a Zoom call, or they can simply go to my website and fill out a pre-approval process. And then I follow up with them the next day to kind of go through everything. And it's once we've been through that, we'll have a better idea of what documentation they'll really need, because I will take that information, put it through the Fannie or Freddie servers, depending on what I think is best for their situation, and give them their options and say, here's what you got, and here's what we should get to get that kind of a loan for you.
So a couple of things. I don't know if everybody caught that. So first of all, for that process, so Tony's got an app. There it is, that green button down there for Ruoff Mortgage that he can help with the communication process. Also, Tony said a couple of names there that maybe you have heard, maybe they're familiar, Fannie and Freddie. Tony, why don't you let people know what that truly means? What is Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac all about?
So Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are what are called government-sponsored enterprises. Virtually every loan, secondary market loan, gets purchased by one of them through securitization.
Hmm.
And Ginnie Mae is out there as well, but even Fannie and Freddie are buying the Ginnie Mae stuff for government loans. But they're the organization that basically get all the money from investors around the world to create these mortgage pools that we as lenders then sell into. And depending on the size of the lender, some people are selling one at a time, and some are selling big pools at a time, because you do enough business to have a whole bunch of loans that meet the same criteria.
So if it's possible, how does that relate to somebody who's getting an FHA loan and somebody who's getting a VA loan?
So chances are it'll probably, as those are both government insured loans. So you've got Ginnie Mae that kind of directs what's there.
Mhm.
And then that loan, but Ginnie does not securitize anything. So Fannie and Freddie are still going to likely buy the note, even though you'll never make a payment to them. They will not be the servicer. It'll go through the bank, or your mortgage lender, who will retain servicing. But servicing and who owns the note are actually two separate things. They're financial instruments, also known as derivatives.